There are about 8 weeks left in the year, and you know what that means. About 7 weeks of holiday shopping. There are some economic indicators that show strong potential for holiday sales. In this morning's U.S. Bank Economic 360, Mindy McLaughlin, Senior Vice President and Senior Portfolio Manager from U.S. Bank's Private Client Reserve, joins Business Watch producer Kelly Leon in the studio to talk about what we can expect. Ladies.
Thanks, Peg. And Mindy, thanks for being here.
Sure,
good to have you in.
I wore my red.
Yes, for the holidays.
Getting geared up.
I'm not ready for this, but I am enjoying the lower gas prices.
Without a doubt.
So is that going to mean that's going to continue and I'm going to have more money to spend for the holidays?
That is the thought at this point. Definitely oil prices have fallen this year. Since the peak in the spring, they've actually come down over $20 a barrel.
Oh, wow.
And what that means is that translates into about $140 billion of additional cash that consumers can redirect. And we have a chart that shows the price of oil there.
Yeah, we see it here.
And another way to look at that is essentially for every 1 cent decline in the price of gas at the pump, excuse me, that's about $1 billion that households can redirect into something else. So we think there is going to be a lot more money.
So are we as consumers spending those extra dollars or are we saving them?
Yeah, that's always a good question. It's interesting to look at consumer behavior. I think initially what consumers tend to do is kind of hold it a little while and just try to make sure this is for real. But, you know, this has been going on now for quite some time. And if you think about other things that are happening in the economy, job growth has been better. Wages are actually up about 2.5% year over year. Household, you know, the value of homes have gone up and had a strong stock market. So I think people are definitely pretty engaged and more likely to spend at this point.
And where are they spending? Who benefits from this extra money in the economy?
Sure. We've already seen, you know, mobile phones, that's been a big place for a lot of money to go. And autos, I think as jobs creation has come back and so forth, there's been a little bit of pent-up demand there. So we've seen that already, but there are some sub-industries that do particularly well when we have a strong dollar and when we have falling oil prices. And one of the biggest areas, I think, is internet retail. So we're looking for that to be a big place to see a lot of money spent. Also, people love to spend money on their home, you know, favorite thing. So home furnishings, that's a subsector that should do well. And the airlines are doing pretty well. I think you may see people open their wallets and actually, instead of drive, maybe fly this year. So, you know, one thing I think you have to be careful, though, is there are some retailers that derive a huge amount of their sales from overseas. And as those markets have slowed this year, we've seen that with some of the retailers this week alone in their earnings announcements, they're not quite meeting it. So from an investment standpoint, I think it's important to focus on domestic companies and so forth. But, you know, I think really, even with the Thanksgiving holiday late in the season and kind of a shortened year end, it should shape up to be a pretty good season, all things considered, if oil prices stay low.
Oh, but that sounds good, and we'll have you back on to monitor that and see how we're doing.
Update the progress.
Mindy, thank you. We appreciate you and U.S. Bank so much.